We have some breaking news from the NHL. Alex Texier has cleared waivers, became a free agent, and of course has a new home. He signed a new one-year contract for the remainder of the season. We have a new player on waivers for the same purpose as Texier just went through, unconditional for the purpose of terminating the contract. We'll discuss that. Plus, Mikko Rantanen got himself in hot water with another dirty hit, finds himself suspended, and we have an update on his last collision with Alexander Romanov and what he's dealing with for an injury coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we got a few breaking news items here in the last couple of hours around the NHL. So let's go through and update everybody on what the happenings are. So essentially with the waivers activity, we have a new player on waivers for the purpose of contract termination. So that's goaltender Alexander Georgiev, who had previously signed with the Sabres, which made absolutely no sense to me why they did that at the time. I thought maybe a PTO would have been more appropriate, but obviously it didn't work out. It appears as though he's heading to sign in the KHL, so we don't expect him to be coming back to the NHL this year at least. But Georgiev will be terminating his contract with the Buffalo Sabres. That will be official tomorrow afternoon once he officially clears the waivers process. And then his time with Buffalo, and for now at least in the NHL, will come to an end. Of course, we recently saw in the last couple of days here, Alex Texier going through the same process with the St. Louis Blues. He's officially been a free agent now, and he signed a one-year deal with the team that was rumored to be the leading contender, the Montreal Canadiens. So Texier joins him on a one-year, $1 million deal for the remainder of the season. Just a couple of years back, he was a 30-point player. He's a good skater, like a pretty decent speed. Can be used in a middle six, bottom six role. So obviously Montreal has quite a bit of injuries they're dealing with right now. They got a lot of players out of the lineup, so he will be a welcome addition, at least for the time being. Now, once they get healthy later on in the season, and we'll have to wait and see, what kind of a role he carves out for himself and where he can play. But he could be potentially a versatile player for them who might be able to, like I said, play up and down their lineup in different spots. Can at the very least help them out of a jam here through some injuries and be productive. And of course they had a hot start to the season, a bit of a cold spell, and they beat the Leafs of course on Saturday night, so I think they're obviously hoping for an opportunity to kind of bounce back and get things back on track here. So Texier very well could be a welcome addition to do that. Now, as I mentioned, Mikko Rantanen's got himself in hot water yet again, another dirty hit. Of course, we saw the situation with the New York Islanders just in the past week with the hit on Romanov, who of course is going to be out long term. We'll discuss him in a second. And then, of course, we saw the Dallas Stars last night doing battle with the Calgary Flames. And Rantanen unfortunately delivered yet another dirty hit to Flames sniper Matt Coronado. I mean, Coronado's a pretty skilled player, one of their best goal scorers on that team. And he was in a situation, this one to me was even more blatant. I understand in the Islanders game, the argument of him kind of clicking skates with Mayfield maybe threw him off a little bit. I still think he extends into Romanov, and I still think that's not as much, I think people are cutting him some slack there more than they should be. I do think he's at fault. I thought there should have been more done about it. Maybe the Mayfield portion of that was added to it a little bit, but sometimes I find players, they'll take every inch you give them, right? And if they see a scenario where I can blame it on this, I just find sometimes they try to get away with more. And I think he went in hard. He extended his arms into Romanov. To me, that just didn't look like a complete natural reaction. I thought he was more guilty than what the NHL thought, what some people thought for sure, but that's just my take. With this one, though, on Coronado has had his back to him. He has got all kinds of time to let up. Made no sense, and he goes hard into him from behind. Face goes into the board glass area. He's got a big gash in his nose and face. Like he was out of the game for a while. He did eventually come back, bandaged and stitched up, but man, it was not pretty. So because of the fact that Rantanen has 2 game misconduct ejections here, he's automatically suspended for a game. So essentially with the way the rule works in the NHL is you're only allowed 1 game misconduct every half season without facing automatic supplemental discipline. Now, of course, the NHL could review things and decide that they think more of a suspension is justifiable in those cases. But if you get 2 game misconducts before game 41, before the halfway point of the season, and it's an automatic one-gamer. So obviously Jonathan Huberdeau challenged him and fought, which, good to see a player like Huberdeau who never really does that kind of stuff, sticking up for his teammates. But yeah, I'm not sure what's gotten into Rantanen lately. He really hasn't been known as a dirty player throughout his career, but recently he's made some bad choices, in my opinion. Now, when it comes to his first victim, and I'm still going to call him a victim because I still believe that he was at fault, but Romanov and the Islanders, it needs shoulder surgery, and he's going to be out 5 to 6 months. So essentially, his season is over. I mean, you're looking at, with it being November, you're probably looking at, mid to late April. Now, if the Islanders were to make the playoffs and, maybe even win a round, then maybe he has a chance to come back later, but it's still probably unlikely at that point. 6 months is probably looking at May, and that's a best case scenario. So yeah, you can pretty well bank on the fact that his season, unfortunately, is over. So, that's two pretty dirty hits in a short span, and I would suspect that Rantanen is going to be talked to about making some adjustments here. Like I said, it hasn't been in his game throughout the first however many years of his career so far. It's kind of surprising to see it come up lately. But yeah, Romanov out long term. He suspended the game. And of course, with the waivers activity, Texier is finally a Hab. And Georgiev is going to be out of the league, away from the Sabres, terminated, and on his way to the KHL. So that is all your kind of more pressing news items here from the early part of the day. We'll discuss all the news and rumors from around the entire league a little bit again later this evening as well. So stay tuned for another video coming up here in a few hours. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.